in heavier traveling light. There's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.
Let me just go grab my coffee real quick, and then I'll be right in.
You know this is episode 400.
Is it actually?
He just knocks everything. Like a bull in a china shop.
Mike is just recording.
Leave this in. Leave this in. This is so good. Hold on, buddy. I just got to get a coffee. And then ISIS broke in. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so funny.
The lights went out too.
Oh, I think
that's our pop-up. Can you click OK?
Mike has stopped recording. Okay. I got to get up now. You have to be so careful when you move around here.
There you go.
I think we should leave all of this in. I think it's funny. You know, like when you watch the morning news and it's just bloopers of like everything going wrong. Mm-hmm. Well, remember that one clip where it was like, that was great. That was excellent. That was almost like a local news blooper. That's what I was telling Emma.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say what I wanted to say. Hold on. Because there was going to be some filthy, dirty language.
I mean, as clean as I keep this podcast, me setting up the equipment to record this podcast would be on Def Comedy Jam or Kill Tony.
Hilarious.
I yell, and it's so early to yell things like that.
Yeah.
Mark just texted me, make sure you hit record on the camera. I did. We're recording. We got the bloopers. I think I got Emma sneezing into the headphones as loudly as possible.
I looked away.
Well, the microphone's good. It blew out my ears like, ah. You know what's funny? We have to turn your mic up because you're very sweet, soft-spoken, but then you sneeze like a foghorn.
I don't know why you're putting me down.
I'm not putting you down. I'm stating facts. Are you a loud sneezer?
Oh, boy, am I. I actually sneeze now. I think the last 6 months when I sneeze, my lower left back seizes up if I sneeze. And I think it's because, when you're a kid and they're like, you don't hold your sneezes and your eyeballs are going to pop out of your head. Do you remember that being like the old wives' tale?
I've never heard that before.
Really?
I've never heard that.
Well, okay. Well, my parents were crazy.
Did your parents tell you that?
No.
My mom said something about like that with farts, but not sneezes.
Yeah, my mom would tell me don't cross your eyes because it'll stay that way.
Yes, that's a classic.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
But you never heard don't hold your sneezes in for any reason?
No.
Wow. Well, my eyes were going to pop out of my head, but now as I get older, it's truly, if I hold a sneeze, it's like, I just start screaming because my back is like, it's awful pain. But I'm fine.
Well, Emma's like a soft speaker, and then it comes time to sneeze, and it's like, whoa, where did that go? It's kind of like that, in the song Creep by Radiohead, where it starts off soft and melodic. That's how you talk normally. Mm-hmm. And then when it gets to the gaga in the song Creep, that's your sneeze.
It's a good release.
Yeah, and you're like, where did that come from? And you're like, I think you cleared all of your sinuses.
Yeah.
It's the wind up of I'm good.
That'd be great if they had a chart in the doctor's office of like the healthy sneeze. Thank you for turning off so healthily. You're like, I don't want to blow it. I turned down my headphones. You can sneeze right into the microphone this time. Just blow it out. By the way, all right, there's too many things I want to say.
Are fighting?
There's too many things I want to say. Number one is this is the 400th episode of This Week in Zoltan. You guys have been here for all 400, which has been amazing.
Feels like more.
It feels
really
like 8,000, let's be honest.
How many have me and Mike been here for? It's been a year now, right? That we've been doing this?
Let's say 50.
Yeah.
Sure.
30 to 50. We take some weeks off.
Yeah.
We're European
Take it.
about our schedule.
Yeah.
But you know who's more? Last week you became a U.S. citizen last week.
Yeah.
And your first order of action as a U.S. citizen was to take the day off the next day and not be on the podcast with Mike and I.
It's true.
It's the best. Like, you became a citizen the next morning. We had a recording scheduled with Mike, and you're like, do I have to? And I was like, no, I guess not. You couldn't be closer to the place of work that, by the way, you don't get paid for.
Yeah. Also true.
Just the side of, like, our bedroom is right on the other side of that
Yeah,
wall.
it's funny because I was
like a true American.
Like a real American. You showed
Yeah.
up not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like in and out of sleep the whole time, so I could kind of hear you guys. Like I would catch little bits and pieces of the conversation, and I didn't like that you guys have good chemistry without me.
Emma gets upset. Emma gets upset when things go well without her, and she's
Yeah.
like, I came in and I was like, oh, that went well. She's like, it went too well.
It went too well.
Yeah,
you guys
you
were
got-
having a blast.
You guys were just flowing, and then she's like, it's not like that when I'm there, but that's the chemistry that we all bring something.
Yeah.
And you bring the ugh.
Yeah, I feel like I bring the vibe down. You guys were so jolly and happy and just bam, 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 bam. And
Well, you gotta mellow it out. It's
Yeah.
like speedballs.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
the cocaine brings you up, the heroin brings you down, and then you find a nice little mid-level. That's what this podcast is. It's speedballs, which killed John Belushi and Chris Farley, by the way. But that's besides the point. This is audio speedballs. It's high, it's low, it's right in the middle. You're riding that wizard or dragon. What do they say?
It's probably the wizard
A
dragon.
wizard dragon. I'm a drug guy.
I like to think of this as the cigarette in between the two, or before you pass between speedball. You're doing the one before the other, before you do the other, and you're like, all right, let me get ready for this. And then that's what we're doing here.
It feels good.
yeah, well, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
We had a
without me.
great time, but I have a better.
Hey, you slept in.
I did.
You missed work.
I did.
Welcome to America.
Thank you.
She was so stressed out about this test that
Yeah.
you smoked it.
Oh my God, I was so stressed out. I mean, it's been a 10-year process, you know. I've
Yeah.
been here for 10 years now. And I had like a stressful moment back in 2018 when I was getting my green card. I had an interview in Montreal, and I was supposed to be in Canada for like 2 weeks.
To renew your green
To
card.
renew my green card, I did the interview. The guy was like, all right, well, I'm going to take your passport and I'll send it back to you in the mail within 2 weeks. I was like, great. My passport didn't come back for 3 months.
She was stuck in
I was
Canada
stuck in Canada for 3 months.
And you had a business in Florida. You had an apartment in Florida with Mushi and Miso.
I had my 2 cats.
And you couldn't get back into the country.
Yeah.
So you were telling your employees what to do over Zoom, which I guess wasn't the worst part. But like
Yeah.
being away from your house and your cats.
And I went to Canada with like a carry-on. Like that's all I had. It was brutal. And I was living at home. So.
Yeah, you were stuck with your parents for 3 months.
Yeah.
And you had no timetable that it was going to be 3 months.
No.
You just, this was like indefinite.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was going to be forever. Like, it's crazy.
And this was during the, I don't know if this gets flagged by YouTube, but this was during the Rump administration, the first Rump administration. So in the summer, right after he got clipped by the bullet, and Emma's like, this guy's going to win. You know, he got up with the blood. And I'm like, and she's like, I got to become a citizen immediately because a Rump might send me back to Canada. And I don't know how many of these words I have to muffle so that YouTube censors make it figure it out.
Yeah.
But that's what got the ball rolling.
Yes.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
You slipped in. You slipped in
happy
under
I
the
made
gate.
it
You were
in.
like,
Yeah.
Well, listen, you could have waited like 2 more months and you wouldn't need a green card at all, or a citizenship. They're going to automatically citizenize all of you when you become the 51st
I
state.
thought about that.
that,
Aren't there already 51 states? Am I crazy, or do we not count Hawaii and Alaska? I'm so confused.
no, there's 48.
There's 50 states.
Yes, but there's 48 states that touch, and Alaska and Hawaii are the 2 that don't, and that makes 50.
I guess in my mind, Puerto Rico's a state.
Yes,
It's a territory.
technically a
Yeah.
territory, along with Guam.
I know that now.
She knows so many. That's what got us.
We took the test last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, I threw some questions at him. He went on a rant about Benjamin Franklin, which I in one of the comments, you genuinely offended a man that I think like is a huge Benjamin Franklin guy. I think he just has like a
I
bunch
didn't
of
see that clip.
$100 posters on his wall. I don't know what he's got, but he was like, this guy doesn't know any. How dare he besmirch the good name of B. Frank? He was going off, man. And I was like, wow.
Oh,
Did you know he started the first free libraries?
He did start the first free libraries. That
oh, cool. There was 7 books available. And he went, hey, does anyone want one of these? He's a genius. Grow up. 6 of them were the Bible. Shut up. Stupid. Ben Franklin stinks.
Oh my God. I wish. I'm jealous because now I want hatred for a historical figure. You know,
Oh, you can find it.
I'm sure you look,
It's not hard.
but like to find the natural vitriol that you have for this guy, I think would take some work for me. Like I'd have to pick somebody. I'd have to.
I think it started because of my roots in Philly, because I was born in Philly and lived there for a long time, and my family still all lives there. So I feel like everyone in Philly, that's like their guy. So who's the guy from your hometown?
I guess San Diego.
Would be, you could find someone with roots there and then figure out why he sucks, because he
Terry
probably
Fox.
does.
Terry.
Fox.
That's your
Canadian
Canadian.
guy.
That's the guy without the legs that ran.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have like, yeah, that guy is like Forrest Gump if he never got the braces off, and then he got his legs amputated, ran across the country of Canada to raise money. For who? Terry Fox.
Yeah, I should know this.
You should know that. Can you pass the Canadian
Terry
I mean, I'm
Fox
already
Foundation.
a citizen there, so it's fine.
Also, why is the citizenship or the green card renewal in Canada? Shouldn't that be here or in the country that you're trying to get into? Because it seems real like the guy that's working that in Canada is like, lost another one, like lose it in the mail, like throws it in the bag.
I think it's because I was
Like-
doing it like through my parents or something, and then like that's where the embassy was. Like that was my location, so
Yeah.
it wasn't ideal.
And you got,
It was an American embassy
Yes.
in Montreal. I don't know.
and those people were mean to you.
They
Like,
were so mean.
yeah, the
Oh my
agent you had,
gosh.
and the people that were in charge of the interviews at the San Diego office we went to couldn't have been nicer.
Oh my god, they were so nice.
Every like we were in this waiting room, this bullpen, and then there's like different people. This one guy would just like this big dude. He would be like, he called this lady's name, and this like older lady, and she's like, He's like, are you ready to party? And she's like, what? And I go, come on. And so like, because they know everyone's nervous about answering, the interview, answering the questions. So everyone was so kind and like tried to de-stress everybody.
Yeah.
And you ended up getting a lady that was low energy like you.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys just like,
We were just two monotone ladies talking to each other.
and she ended up asking you the Ben Franklin question.
She did.
Which you were
Which
hoping.
I loved her for.
Yeah. Because I told you before, I'm like, I hope they ask you the Ben Franklin question. One, because it's going to upset Mike. But two, you would always say, the first free libraries. And you would be so proud of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you made it through. Now you're an American.
Yeah.
What's your first order of business other than skipping the first of work?
Mm-hmm.
What do you look forward to the most as a newly found U.S. citizen?
It's good.
Wait, let's guess.
Go ahead.
Enjoying Velveeta cheese. No longer having to pretend like you hate it.
I don't even know what cheese
No?
that is. Is that a real cheese?
It's government cheese.
Velveeta?
The
Velveeta.
stuff they make the dip out
It's
of.
like macaroni and cheese with the little the powdery goopy cheese.
Interesting.
I wrote a list of things. I don't know where that list is, but I'll try to remember of
Okay.
like trying to introduce you to Americana. And I was like, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go for a drive. Yeah, because we're a driving country, and we're gonna drive by things and point at them and say we should check that out. And then here's the thing: we never check that out. And then we go to the same place we've always been to, and then we go, isn't this great? Now you're an American. That's it. Anytime you have the hint of trying something new, you're like, that's not what the colonists did. And you go, I'm going right back to my Quaker Bible, and I'm going to thump that, and we're not trying any of this new stuff, new age fangled stuff. I think that's good. You're comfortable in your comfortabilities, if that's a word,
I
which it
am.
isn't.
Yeah.
Welcome to America.
So what is it? What are you excited for?
Oh, I don't know. Honestly, Not
See,
much.
these are the questions they should ask.
Well, I was ready for it if they asked me, like, why do you want to become a citizen? I was going to.
And what was your answer?
Because I would like to vote in the next federal election.
That's great.
And I agree with the values of this country. And my husband's here.
I'm third? How am I third?
You're third behind getting Rumpy Doodah out.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know I was third to the... Wow. All right. Well.
I mean, it wasn't
fair.
in any sort of order.
Oh, is
I
it no
still love
particular
you.
order? Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Chinese food, Mexican food, Italian food. That's what I love about America, dude.
A little bit of everyone.
You know what I love about America? The freedom. And the health care, because you don't, even once you pay for it, you're still like, oh, they don't want to give it to me.
Oh, yeah. That was a real
fun.
shocker for
Yeah,
me, the healthcare.
We went and got a blood test. We finally insured, by the way. Everyone's always been leaving the message every time we post. Every time I post the video of the testicle pain thing and no health insurance and Dr. Zoltan and him juggling the genitals and all that stuff, people are always like, don't forget to sign up for insurance this time. This time we did. We got the Blue Cross and the Blue Shield.
Yep.
$800 a month. And she's like, the Canadian one is so much better.
It is. It really is.
It was such
Nobody has any idea what they're doing here. Like,
they gave us you got to pick your primary care doctor, so we picked a lady named Monica down the street, and then they eventually, for some reason, that got mixed up, and they gave us a Monique in Sacramento, which is like a 9-hour drive from here. And to call and change that was a giant fiasco because they didn't want to accept the appointment we made with Monica because our primary care is in Sacramento. And so we're just in the waiting room of this doctor's office on a phone call with like a customer service agent trying to explain the difference to her between a Monica and a Monique. And she's like, wait, Monica? No. You gave us Monique. We want Monica. You want Monique? No. We want Monica. And eventually they're like, what's the difference? And I'm like, I'll tell you the difference. A 9-hour drive. That's the difference between Monica and Monique. And we need Monica. We need to dump Monique. No disrespect to Monique. I'm sure you're doing great work in Sacramento. We don't live there.
I'll tell you the difference. Two completely different networks on TV. Those shows are on wildly opposite channels. That's exactly what's going on. Here's why you shouldn't trust the American healthcare system. I took this yesterday, this video, and I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but... Oh, no, I took a picture. I'm sorry. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to put it up to the screen. Look what's happening.
What is that?
what is that?
What are we looking at?
That is the trunk
Oh, that's
of somebody's car running blood tests. That's a blood test machine and vials of blood. And that is a machine in which they test the blood.
What?
And at least I saw that. I go, at least she's wearing gloves. Look at this insanity.
That is crazy.
And this was right across from the federal courthouse in New York. Like it was right at, she was just on parked, double parked, by the way, just doing this with blood, putting it in her little machine. I was like, this is crazy. I gotta take a picture of this.
Crazy.
They're Ubering the blood.
Oh my god.
That's insane. That actually makes sense with what happened to you.
Yeah.
She hates needles.
I'm terrified of getting my blood drawn. Like absolutely terrified.
Yeah. She has to lay down.
Which part?
Just all of it. Like
The needle and the blood.
yeah.
What do you mean?
It's just like the blood.
Well, I don't know. Is it the pain? Is it the blood?
It's
Is it
just the fact that there's
concept
like
of it?
blood coming out of me. Like my brain just
okay.
can't wrap my head around it. Yeah. So
neither of those things, Zoltan. She's scared. So what do you mean? What do you
Sorry,
mean?
I thought I was going to make it funny by going, what do you think she's afraid of the paperwork? Is that what your paper cuts?
What are you afraid that she thinks she's going to run out of blood? Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
I'm afraid of the pricking too. Like that part's scary.
Yeah, I don't like needles.
Oh my gosh. And then I'm also terrified of like, what if the phlebotomist?
Phlebotomist?
What is phlebotomist?
What are you
Yeah,
saying?
Phlebotomist, you got it
Phlebotomist.
right.
That's a word?
Is
That's the person that pulls your blood. Phlebotomy.
I thought that was a nurse.
Anyway, I'm scared of like them not knowing what they're doing. That's another fear.
I mean, a lot of them don't.
And so, yeah, that fear came true when we went. You can tell the story.
I mean, we went, and then you're like, please come in with me. So now I'm in there with her. They lay her down. She's like, I need to be laid down. And this lady can't decide which arm to do it on. So she's laying down on this like hospital bed, and she has a cart with all the stuff. And she's like, let me check this vein. I don't like it. So she takes her little cart all the way around, goes to the other side. I'm in the way. I got to move. And then she slaps her other arm. She goes, I think the other one was better. And then she grabs her cart, go to the each time Emma's just laying there going, dear God, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Oh, my God.
And she finally sticks you with it. And it takes forever to get 3 vials of blood. And
It took so long, and then while she's doing it, she's like, oh, like, I can understand. I'm terrified of drawing blood. And I'm like, don't tell me that. This is like while she's in my arm.
I forgot about that.
And, oh my God. And it took forever. Like, I think it was like 2.5 minutes to draw 3 vials of blood.
I think it was legitimately 5 minutes.
It was so long.
I was there. And then they send it all off. You feel lightheaded. And she's like, what's your birth date? And then you got to say your birth date. Then she lifts your legs like she was like she learned this with the scouts or something. She's like, are you about to faint? She lifts her legs, and Emma's like,
was she pinning her for the title?
I'd imagine someone walking by that waiting room. Like, can you imagine a kid there to get his blood drawn, and he's kind of nervous, and he walks by the room, and then there's just a nurse holding a woman's legs, and a husband just going, "Oh my God!" like, that kid's never getting.
Husband doing this. Ring the bell.
But
Nothing makes me more weirded out if I look up because I'm scared of a procedure and their doctor's doing this. You don't want to see that face.
Yeah.
To be fair, like the phlebotomists, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
I just learned that word. Sorry, one of the cats is using the litter box, if you hear that in the mic.
That's a phlebotomy.
Yeah. The phlebotomist, I think, and maybe someone can correct us, that's the lowest rung of the ladder of working in the medical field. Because my mom, I remember in the 90s, went to one of those quickie schools where you can be like a dental assistant or a phlebotomist or whatever. And she quit because she's like, I'm failing these tests and they're just pushing me through to the next round. And she's like, I'm not getting this. Like, I'm going to end up getting a job at a hospital and hurting people.
Right.
So she dropped out. But these are the people that have these positions. They kind of get pushed through. Most of them aren't bad, but the ones that are, they just got pushed through these programs.
Yeah.
Like, I remember this one guy, like, I judge the people that draw my blood by just the looks of him. He was like a white dude, but he had like a buzz cut with like diamond earrings and Jordans on. And I was like, are you doing the blood? And he's like, yeah. And he's speaking all like he's from the hood. And I'm like, what is this? And none of this matches. None of this what is going on here? And he's like, don't worry, man, I'm not going to hurt you. And I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you bring hurting me into the picture if that wasn't on your mind, you know?
Yeah.
And
are you a nurse or a mind?
yeah, you're in the wrong line of work. But anyway, this lady did such a bad job.
Oh yeah, and then don't forget the prick. She like when she was trying to get into my arm with that needle, she went like this, and it was the most painful prick I've ever experienced. Anyway, go on.
I looked over, and I didn't want to tell you this, but it looked like she was doing the Zorro sign on your arm. It looked like she was over there going, dit, dit, dit. And then you looked at me, and I'm like, everything's fine. Don't worry about that. But she did such a bad job that afterwards you were relieved it was over. And the next day they put the results up. And it says one of the results is inconclusive due to drawing failure. Meaning like whoever drew the blood messed up somehow.
Like apparently you're supposed to shake the vial or something. You're supposed to mix the blood after you draw it. And it said that the vial wasn't mixed and the blood clotted. So they couldn't use the tube.
I think that's the flambe part of phlebotomy, is you got to shake it. And she forgot to do it, so one of the tests was inconclusive. So she was like, they're like, you have to go back and do it again.
So we went back yesterday.
Yeah, we went back yesterday. We went straight to the lab. And she was hoping it was just one vial of blood. And there was a very nice little Asian lady working, the older Asian lady, and she's like, and Emma's, I just hear her, how many vials do we have to get? And then she says 2, and Emma's like 2, and I could hear the way she said 2 that she was already crying, and then Emma turns around to go in, just sobbing like someone died, and I'm like, oh dear. And then so I go back in there with you, and the nurse is like, sees how upset you are, and she goes, oh sweetie, you don't have to do this.
Oh, I'm gonna start crying again.
Oh no.
Oh,
You did great. You did so good. And how good was that nurse? Because she told you, you don't have to do this. Like, you can just come back when you're feeling less upset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is her all the time.
Yeah.
This is standard. I'm getting blood drawn Emma right now.
Yeah.
And she was like,
she did a really good job.
you didn't feel a thing.
It was quick. I didn't really feel it that much, and like I wasn't lightheaded after. I was crying the entire time she was drawing blood, which was so weird. I just couldn't control it. But
and I'm just standing. It's like 7 a.m. I'm wearing like a workout jacket. I'm dressed like I'm on my way to a jog, and I'm just holding her because I couldn't hold your hand where they put you to lay down, so I'm just holding your foot. I'm just holding your shoed foot, and I'm just like kind of squeezing your shoed foot, and I'm like, it's gonna be all right.
Oh, God.
And yeah, it was an experience.
that was an experience.
But you know what? Stories like that make it more fun, because otherwise it's just a boring story that you got your blood drawn. But instead, now we got a tale of tears and blood and misdrawings, misgivings, and medical malpractice, if you really think about it. A little bit of everything.
What happens like when you get a cut or something and you're bleeding? Do you get the same reaction?
No.
Because the blood's leaving your body?
It's literally just drawing blood.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
I guess it's the needle part of it, and then
You know what
the
she doesn't?
sucking part of it.
You know what you don't have a problem with?
Yeah.
Popping zits on my back until they bleed. Like, I'll ask for a back scratch, and that back scratch turns into a, what are you doing back there? Real quick. And I'm like, ah!
Yeah, it's just one up and down. It's and then
That's what it is.
every time.
Every time.
Huh? It's the worst.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone.
That happened to me today.
Yeah.
I have to fix her desk, and she's like, "Are you gonna fix this desk today?" I was like, "All right, but you got to scratch my back first." And she's,
You guys don't exfoliate your backs. I'm just
How would
saying.
we?
how would we
You're
do
supposed
that?
to use one of those loofahs.
I have
like,
a
I
torn
bought him
labrum.
one.
I can't
And
reach
then all
back
you
there.
have to do is put a little soap on it, and then just go back there and like.
No.
So I don't exfoliate, but every time I try to scratch my back with a tree, people make fun of me and call me a bear. Now I'm the idiot. Okay,
That's so funny.
my bad.
That's all I want is back scratches. I'll take a back scratch
That's it.
over a massage. Because you'll be like, do you want a massage? I'm like, I'd rather you just lightly tickle my back. Especially the sides. Do you like it on the ribs?
No.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. I love the.
This guy's a
I love
weirdo.
to. I'm not weird. All right. Don't.
Just scratch me under my armpits and under my feet.
That's what he
please.
says. Not the feet, but the armpit.
Yeah, I go start
That's
from. I'm
weird.
gonna raise my hand like this and then tickle down the underarm, down the ribs, and then go down the center of the back and pretend you're doing a Van Gogh painting with your fingers and
What
just
was your,
real.
what was your
whoosh.
favorite part of school when somebody scratched the chalkboard? The hell's wrong with you?
No. What? That's horrible.
It just, I know. Someone lightly digitizing my armpit, the soft part of my arm. Ooh.
Listen, I come from a lineage that's been through 2 world wars and the Ottoman Empire.
Oh, here we go. Blame it on World War II again. That's all I hear from Zoltan.
Listen, it's all Hitler's fault. All right, they came in, they took over Hungary, a bunch of bad stuff, and now I like to get my armpit scratched. Okay, that's what Elon Musk is heading us towards. Enough of those. Everyone's gonna want their pits tickled in about 20 more years.
I think that's why he's getting rid of pennies, because he's afraid of getting hit with them when he walks down the street.
Is that one of his things? He's getting rid of pennies.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of pennies, which I'm fine with.
care.
Who needs
Yeah,
a pen? Pennies
I think
are
Canada
make
got
my
rid of
fingers
pennies a
smell.
while ago.
I think half.
They did.
I think half of Donald Trump's agenda in the first 100 days is just anything that trended on Twitter in the last 12 months. Like what did he get? He brought back straws. He's like, here's an executive mandate on straws. He went after transgender athletes in like youth sports. He went at. He just like it's like he screenshotted what's trending on Twitter, and he's like, "I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that." And I'm like, it's a crazy world we're living in.
I just love the idea that like a juice shop in Santa Monica is going to go just like click the order for plastic. So Trump said, like you just think paper straws disappear because you go, I like them. Grow up, pal. That guy stinks. I apologize. Because he's doing stuff that I think is kind of cool. Get rid of the pennies, sure.
Yeah.
Also, paper straws suck. Like, but also, what is an executive order going to do?
Yeah.
Get him out of the White House? Like, stop it. Just knock it off.
I have an executive order that middle seats will no longer be allowed on commercial airline flights, and everyone's
nice.
like, "Yeah!" You know?
And Delta's like, yeah, okay, we're still going to sell those seats, you dumbass. Did you see the clip where Elon's kid told Donald Trump to shut his mouth?
What? No.
Like when they were doing that press thing, they zoomed in and you could hear the kid go, "Shut your mouth." Something like that. He was like, "You need to shut your mouth up."
That's so great.
It was awesome.
I love that.
Oh man, Elon is getting to. I mean, besides all the stuff he's done that's not great publicly, he's getting to Taylor Swift level annoying. Of like, sit down, dude. Yeah. He's always just bouncing in. Blazer T-shirt, like he's about to go on Shark Tank, and like pitch a new like hand weight or something. And he's got a hat and his kid is like, "Oh yeah, I got rid of pennies." And you're like, dude, just get the hell.
You're the best. It would be awesome if he started dating Caitlin Clark.
Oh, the basketball player?
Yeah, it'd be the perfect Taylor Travis mix up.
Ugh. I have no jokes to that, but that would be, I could see that happening just because it's bizarre and it makes no sense, and I could see that happening. Isn't Elon Musk married to like Bjork or something?
He's married?
Or what's
Grimes?
I think he was
Grimes?
married to Grimes.
No last name, this person, just Grimes. That's the first name? Grimes? Just Grimes?
He's not married to anybody. He was married to Lula Riley twice. Justine Musk.
Okay.
Before that, I don't know if he was ever married to Grimes. I think they just have kids together. Unless Tallulah Ray is.
Tallulah.
They got married two times. I have a better idea. Oh, that was the same as the first idea.
I have an uncle that did that.
Did what?
He got married to the same woman twice.
Oh.
They married.
Did it last?
I think the second time it stuck. No, they broke up again. But they they got married, they had kids, they broke up for like a decade, for like a while, and then they got back together, remarried, and then I think...
Kind of like Ben Affleck and J-Lo.
Yeah, they were like Ben Affleck and J-Lo, except minus all the fame and Dunkin' Donuts commercials, more just Eastern European coldness, just kind of withering away.
I love that new Dunkin' commercial with, what's the actor's name that's in the giant cup of coffee?
Casey Affleck?
The guy from no, it's Casey Affleck, Ben Affleck, and then they're making fun of Jeremy Strong. Like he pulls himself out of a giant cup of coffee covered in grinds, and they're like, "What are you doing, bud?"
I saw that.
He's like, he's a method actor. He's like, I'm just trying to find the character.
Oh, yeah, I just see that.
So I'm not one to be like, oh, what a great commercial for a multinational conglomerate, but that was pretty good.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did,
yeah. We were into that. I actually loved, we didn't pay attention to the commercials.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone talked the entire, because the game wasn't close. Mm-hmm. The only time people shut up was for the halftime show.
Yeah.
And we had a great time enjoying that. Became a Kendrick Lamar fan.
It was great. I loved his bell bottoms. I mean,
yeah. I was like, those are bell bottoms. I think because he's a short, you brought out, you're like, I like him because he's short. Mm-hmm. And he's a little fella. And I'm like, those might not even be bell bottoms. He just didn't have time to get his pants hemmed. So they like clipped him in the thigh and then they let it flare out.
It's fine. Go out there.
Just
go.
Out there. It's the Super Bowl. You got to go. But
I have my own personal controversy for the Super Bowl commercials.
What was that?
I'm gonna show you another picture. Ready?
Oh, he posted this on social media. Look
is
at
that?
Hims.
The Hims ad.
That's Mike.
Right.
They were supposed to air me in the ad, and I got cut out of the ad.
Oh.
But they used my face because I filmed the commercial for them, and they were like, "Oh, this is controversy. You can't have something the FDA." And then they put my picture in all the articles, but then in the commercial, I was never in it.
Huh.
Real annoying.
That is really annoying. Did they pay you for
To
that?
be fair,
ad?
I didn't know that it was. Yeah, but I didn't know it was the one with me in it aired. It aired a million times before that, but I didn't make it to the Super Bowl.
I mean, all those
I
companies.
tested poorly.
All those companies do that. I used to be the Manscaped. I don't know if you know this, but I used to be the Manscaped grooming guru. But yeah,
Really?
back when I had long hair, they dressed me up like a cult leader, and I would come around and shave men. This is what I did. I bought a Honda Fit with that ad. Well, at the down payment, I still had to pay the monthlies. But they kind of did the same thing where they're like, they didn't want to pay me a bunch of money, and I also didn't have a lot of leverage to negotiate because I was negotiating it myself, I think, or with my old agent. I forget how, but they're like, all right, we'll only pay you this much. I think it was like $5,000 or something. I forget what it was, but they're like, it will only be online. Like, it won't be a national ad. Because if it's like a national ad, you know this, Mike. You're out there doing the commercial auditions.
Yeah.
You can make
More
like a
money.
year's worth of money if that commercial ends up doing well.
Yeah.
And I was living in a garage at the time, so I was like, please let this be a national commercial for the love of God. And they stood strong. They're like, it's only going to be online. And then before I know it, I'm at bars watching TV, and there's my ad. And so they just didn't listen to their own contract of not paying me. It was on cable. It was on everything. I was on NFL, like there'd be an NFL game, and then in between, there's me with the stupid razor shaving people's balls, and I'm like, what? Where's my money? Like that should have been Honda Accord money instead of Honda Fit money.
So wait, what ended up happening? Did you end up getting your money?
No, they just did the classic corporate thing where we kept doing more commercials, and every time they're like, we'll pay you big time on the next one. We'll pay you big time on the next one. And I did like 2 of them, or maybe 3, and then after the 3rd, I started seeing that they got Pete Davidson, and I'm like, well, they've upgraded on comedians. And I was like, I see the writing on the wall. I remember I was sitting there watching it with my buddy, and I'm like, I can't believe Pete Davidson did this for $5,000. What an idiot, you know? And I was like,
Well, if you Google Manscaped Grooming Guru, buddy, you're right
I'm
there.
there.
All your commercials.
I helped write
That's
some of those
crazy.
ads because they came up with like they paid me a little extra for that, but they came up with like the rough draft of it, and I just kind of punched it up and did that because they're a San Diego company. I just got an ad one day or a message one day saying, would you be interested in being in a Manscaped commercial? And I was like, my mother would be so proud if I was a part of that.
Had I known, I literally just ordered yesterday some new foot spray. No big deal. From Manscaped.
What does the foot spray do?
Had I known this. What do you think it does,
I don't
Emma?
know. It's like a deodorant
guess.
for your feet.
No, it makes my feet smaller. But yes, it's to make the smell of your
I
foot.
don't know.
My feet don't smell except for like a short window in winter from like when the seasons change from hot to cold and then cold to hot. For some reason,
So dumb.
my feet start to go. So, but that's the foot duster they call it. It works really well.
Oh, that's so fun. I just, because I know when people purchase things, like when you and I sit around and we're like, we're out of paper towels. One of us goes on Amazon and gets paper towels. That means he was just sitting around and Becca comes by and goes, God, what is that? And he's like, all right, I'll get the foot spray.
She sure does. That definitely doesn't not happen.
Do I have stinky feet?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. I'm never down there. I don't know what it smells like. It's
Yeah.
too far away.
Your feet are very sweaty, though. Like,
I have
you
the wettest
leave,
feet.
like, wet.
I'm like a
Footprints
Hydrax
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's-
When you first moved to San Diego, you moved to an apartment. We weren't living together. You moved to an apartment that had black like tile flooring. So I would come in and I'd take my shoes off, and you just see these wet footprints all across, and she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I have sweaty feet." And I'm like, look up a hydrax, Hydrax. It's a small rodent animal that I remember. I think you and I went and saw it at the zoo, and in the caption, it's like the hydrax is able to walk up walls because they have sweaty feet, and they're able to like latch on, and like, oh, it's like you.
I remember this.
Yeah, I got wet feet.
Well, a hydrax is a little rodent, like you said, but it's also a group of medicines called antihistamines. That's the name of a medicine.
That's why I don't have allergies, because my feet sweat.
I think it's because in the winter in New York, because you wear like boots and stuff that don't really breathe.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It just locks it all in for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you release it, it goes.
Ew.
You know when like football players are playing in the winter and they take their helmets off and there's just steam coming off their head, and it's such a visually like whoa moment? I think that's what happens with feet. You know, you take your boots off after a sweaty, hot but freezing day in a New York winter, and then you take those boots off and it just radiates foot heat.
So the topic of this podcast is like
foot heat?
Like nothing? Like we just talk about a bunch of nothing?
Are you new?
This is your first day?
This is it? What?
Such an American. Misses her first day, complains on day two. Jesus. Say the pledge. Save yourself now. Say the pledge.
That is so true. You skip day one of Citizens. Day two, you're like, is this what this podcast is about?
We need more breaks.
Yeah, we can
Need
take
intermissions, like 3 breaks.
3
Paid.
Paid breaks.
Paid breaks.
Wait, now you guys want to get paid? These episodes on YouTube make like $4. All right.
It's pretty tight.
That's pretty good. I'll send. We're all 33.33% a part of this thing. I'll send.
I expect my dollar and a nickel.
I can't. Musk got rid of pennies. How the hell am I supposed to pay you guys? But yeah, do you want us to like break down foreign policy? Because I can sound dumb doing that.
That's okay.
Okay.
Well, listen, Zelensky, has acknowledged that Putin is coming to the table, and Trump is attempting to broker a deal, and both sides have acknowledged it. We can go there.
No, we didn't.
That's okay.
We talk about
Yeah,
it.
Okay.
yeah, we can break that down.
I'm sorry.
I read that this morning because as soon as I wake up, I open the news, and with a crusty eye, I just see Trump going to talk to Putin about ending their Ukraine war, and Zelensky's like, I want to be a part of these talks, and they're like, nah, you're not a part of this. I'm like,
Figure it out.
how does that work? I'll get this straightened out. You just stay at home, sweetheart. I'm gonna go talk to the man. We're gonna give away some of your country's minerals. It's got nothing to do with you. It's me and old shirtless horse rider over here. We're gonna.
You don't have to agree to it, but it's just gonna happen.
It's just gonna happen. I mean, we all come.
Trump Tower, Kiev. One of the best Kievs they have. Is that the city? Okay.
It's pretty good.
It's a good Trump.
Yeah.
Was that okay?
I like
All right.
this. I like.
Yeah.
Ow! Did you hear that pop?
That was crazy.
That was a.
Was that your body?
Yeah. Did you hear that?
I thought you.
That's
No.
his shoulder.
That's my shoulder touching my collarbone. That's why. By the way, you asked me why I can't exfoliate my back because you got me a loofah. I got a torn labrum. I can't reach back there. I don't know what's going on back there. Every time you find something, I'm like, what is it? And you're like, don't worry about it. And then you get to work, and then I feel pain, and then I can't even like console it with my free hand because I can't reach back there. Mm-hmm. Bad arms. Episode 400, everybody.
We did it.
You know what I do need? My coffee's gone cold. How's your coffee? Is it warm, though? Whoa, you just changed the color.
Whoa.
Whoa, do you want warm coffee or red lighting? Also, I don't know if you noticed my Shawn Michaels mug.
I noticed the mug, but I didn't see it was Shawn Michaels. There was a glare.
Yeah,
But now I
this
see
Shawn
it.
Michaels mug
Heartbreak Kid, baby.
with the Jim Cornette T-shirt.
Love that. I thought it was Rainn Wilson for a minute behind the mic.
It's Jim Cornette, and I grabbed this mug. I'm like, oh, it's wrestling related. Jim Cornette's wrestling related. And then I realized, oh my God, they hate each other. So I got this guy hates this guy. And, but that's what we did. What am I trying to do here? What else? Oh, the Super Bowl. I loved the halftime show. We got to watch it at our friend's garage, and
You guys keep talking. I gotta go get a charger for my computer.
go do that. The halftime show was the best because Vance had speakers under the couch that we were sitting on in his garage, and so it felt like we were watching the halftime show from the back of that Buick that was on stage.
Oh yeah.
And it was just rumbling, and I couldn't hear any of the lyrics because it's live rap. You can never hear the lyrics, but the beat of every song, I could feel it just gyrating my entire body and I'm like, I get it now. I get Kendrick Lamar. I also get when a car goes by and you just hear boom and like the trunk rattles and you're like, that can't sound good in there. It does. It does sound good in there.
I think if you have good speakers,
I think those people do.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure.
Because that was good. Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah. I wanted to turn off the game and then put on like Metallica's live album with the orchestra so I could feel like the orchestra come through my butt cheeks, like just rumbling through. That would have been the bass, don, 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 like listen to some Lemmy from Motorhead, like bass while it's coming through the couch. Oh my God, I want a couch like that with the subwoofers under. Have you ever experienced music from your butt?
No, but I experienced the exact wrong time to come back into the show. I just put my headphones on and it's like this. It goes, I'm going to experience Metallica in my butt. Should probably get out of here.
Well, Emma was complaining that the show is about nothing. And so I was like, well, I'll give you something. I like to enjoy music through my barn doors. All right.
I'm aging out of the ability to deal with too much subwoofer bass.
Really?
Like it rattles my insides and it gets me paranoid. Because I feel like I know that's coming from that car next to me, but I'm pretty sure my heart's falling out of my body. Like it's not the car, it's me.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't stand
So that's
loud
where I'm
music.
at.
Like that was
Oh, yeah.
fine for the halftime show, but like just on a regular basis, listening to loud music, my anxiety shoots up.
Yeah.
I get angry.
Yeah.
I can't hear myself think.
Yeah.
It's just not fun.
Yeah, your least favorite thing is because like my on Instagram, what they know what I like, and what I like is guitar solos. So there's just like a video of like Zakk Wylde or Dimebag Darrell or Kirk Hammett or something, just and I'm like, yeah. And then Emma's like, ugh, can you turn that? It's 8 a.m. and I'm like, I'm trying to wake up to some Zakk Wylde going,
Yeah.
hitting tickling the strings or whatever they do.
How else am I supposed to wake up if I can't bang my head? Just pouring a coffee.
Yeah. Well,
Like, how do you wake up?
I wake up there's 3 ways that I normally wake up. 1 is to use the bathroom. 2 is gasping for air.
the mask came off.
Which is not a joke.
Makes it funnier.
4 is when a limb is numb.
Oh yeah.
One of my limbs will go numb based on how I'm laying
Oh, my
down,
God.
and then I wake up going, I've lost a leg, and then I'm awake.
Oh my God. It sounds horrible.
That happens to me. Have you ever had both arms go numb? Because I got bad shoulders with
Yeah.
bad circulation, and sometimes I'll wake up and both arms have gone, and then I'm just face down and I'm like drowning in my pillow, and then I gotta like.
Sometimes I'll sleep like that, like I'll sleep like this or something, like I'll fall asleep
Yeah.
like this. And then everything just drains out of me, and then I wake up like, I can't even get out of bed because I'm like, I won't have the balance.
Yeah.
I'll fall
Oh
down.
my God.
And I have to use my injured shoulder to prop myself up, and I can feel it hurting, but it's also numb, so it like feels like I'm in surgery or something. And then I just, I weasel out. And then I hear you go, stop moving. And I'm like, I'm dying over here. I think, what's the record time down there?
It's like closing in on 50.
Yeah, well, we're doing 2 episodes today, not to let you.
I think we did.
Yeah, this is episode 1.
Yeah.
We
I didn't
knocked
know
it.
we're doing 2
And I'll
episodes.
tease,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
tease next week. I went and got a CPAP machine this morning.
Hey!
So we can talk about that next episode.
Coming up next week, Mike talks about sleep apnea. And Emma finds out that we have a second episode.
You don't tell me anything.
I told you we're doing.
Honestly, like, I always find out in the moment.
It was your idea. Last week, you're like, you should do
but
2
you didn't
episodes.
confirm it.
Oh, I did say that's a great idea. See you next week. Episode 400 is a wrap. What was that? I don't know. I thought it was worthy of all that movement. Anyway,
It was a lot. It was good.
ciao, everybody.
Trekking heavy or traveling light, there's one thing that's right wherever I go. That's where I am.